So I'm really excited about this tutorial as well as 3 other ones. Why? Because we are going to be talking about our financial plan technology, and this is what sets FitBUX apart from anybody else out there. It's going to make your life so much easier, and the whole thing, as you know, with FitBUX is making money complement your life instead of dictating it. This is the first video that talks about that. Specifically, it's about plan building and using our plan builder. And then in the other tutorials, we're going to show you how to use the simulations, how to compare different options, and then how to actually use the technology to implement your plan. But it all starts here with actually building your first financial plan. So let's jump right into it. There's 2 ways you can access the technology to build your plan. The very first one, you can click build a plan here, or you can click build a plan over here on the left-hand menu. I'm going to click this over here on the left-hand menu. You're going to see it says build my plan. We give you 2 options. This first one is our AI plan builder. That's a separate tutorial that we'll talk about in another tutorial. This is the one we're going to focus on right here because it's the one that most of you are going to want to use. It's the manually built financial plan. So I'm going to come in here and click this. I'm going to name this first. It's called demo. And then that's going to drop you, after we hit next down here, it's going to drop you right into the plan builder and asking questions. The first question it's going to ask you is about life events and goals. And so this section is really important, especially because these life events, as you add them, it's going to add short-term goals to your financial plan. It's also going to instruct our AI to do certain things when you have certain life events happen, like getting married. It's going to adjust some of your stuff. If you're moving, it's going to adjust cost of living. So these are very, very important. Okay. Now, let's just say I'm getting married. Actually, let me add a goal of buying a house. And so let's just say I want to buy a house in 2024 in March. And I'm estimating that the home price is $400,000. And I'm going to have to put down $15,000 for a down payment. What this is going to do is it's going to set this goal as a short-term goal of having to save $15,000. I'm going to hit save, and you can see here that it adds a savings goal. That's the only one I want to put in there right now. You can put in whatever goals you want to about buying cars, getting married, whatever it is, adding children. Again, these things are all important because it's what feeds into our AI and the projections. So the first screen that I come to is my day-to-day money, which is my income and your expenses. And I'm going to go through with you first on how to edit and add information in here. And I'm also going to go through with you why this is important, not just for the projections, but also for after you decide to implement your plan. So first of all, how do I edit and add stuff? As I highlight over this, I can edit this. It can change this drop down. It can change the dollar amounts, or I can also delete this out of here if I want to. If I want to add another one, I can click add income, and boom, there you go. Just add it however I want to. If you're married, there's going to be another column over here that says spouse, and then you can assign the income to you or your spouse. Same thing is down here with your day-to-day expenses. So this is where you want to add things like groceries, food, and everything. You don't want to add in insurances, and you don't want to add in like debt payments or assets here. Those are on different screens. This is just your day-to-day living expenses. The way you edit and delete and add is the same thing as income. The only one that is different is taxes. This line item is an estimate that we calculate that's based on your income, but it's also based on things like what you decide to contribute to your 401k and whatnot. That's why we lock this as an estimate. Okay, now, before we move forward, why is this information so important? First of all, in our simulations, we're going to feed information from this screen into those simulations, so you want to make sure that it's accurate. Second of all, when we go to do money for future goals and whatnot, you can see over here, this is a summation of where your money is going. And so it's going to feed into this screen over here also. But then if you decide at the end, this is what I want to implement, this is the financial plan I want to implement, this information here is going to save down to your profile. And then you can actually manage this and compare your actual transactions to what you have, quote unquote, budgeted on this screen. Okay, so that is the second screen here, day-to-day money. The next section is where we start answering money for future goals. This is also why it's important to put in some of the life events and goals, is because it's going to start asking you, well, how much do you want to save for your short-term goals? And it listed here. So for example, I only put in one life event. So it's like save to purchase a house. So I can come in here and I can say that I want to save, let's call it $2,000 a month. And actually, you know what? Let's call it $500 a month. and I'm going to hit save. And then it's going to ask me, does my employer offer any type of 401k or anything like that? So I could click yes, and this is where I could say, okay, well, I'm going to put in 3% of my income, and my employer matches 3%, so I'd want to put it in there. If you have questions on these screens, that's what these little info buttons are for, is to tell you what you should be putting in these screens. And I'm going to click save. I'm not going to put in a health savings account, and I'm just going to say yes, $50. I'm going to contribute $50 a month to a Roth IRA, and I click save. This next piece right here is when you have debt and whatnot, it's going to ask you, what do you prioritize? And this is, again, important for the simulations, because when life events happen, we need to know what you would prioritize in terms of where your money goes. So do you prioritize investing, or do you prioritize paying off debt? I'm going to put in here paying off debt. And then this is where I can choose what I do with my student loans. So I can say I want to do the extended plan. I want to do pay as you earn, whatever it may be. I'm just going to do the extended plan on here. I'm going to say, here's my monthly payment. Maybe I want to pay these off aggressively, so I'm going to pay $1,700 a month. I'm going to click save. It's going to ask me what method I want to choose to pay off my debt. High interest rate method means I'm looking at the interest rate only. So if I have a debt that's at 5% versus 7%, it's paying off the 7%. If I want to change that to low balance, it's just going to look at the balance. So if I have a loan that's $2,000 versus 10 grand, that's what it's going to do. It's going to pay off the $2,000 balance instead of the $10,000 balance first. So then I'm going to hit save, and this is a summation here. And again, this is, if I want to edit these, I can go in here and I can just click edit, and I can change the dollar amount in here. If there's more details ones like 401ks, I can click, and it's going to break me back into this screen. And again, if I want to add any assets, I can go in here and add additional assets, say contributions as well. For debt, it's going to pull in the information down here based on what I answered. And again, if I want to edit this, I just click edit, and there it is. So then that's the third section. The fourth section is all about insurances, which is things like health insurance, life insurance. Again, this is the same thing as day-to-day money. Edit, I can go over here, delete, and I can add different types of insurances here if I would like to, okay? Now at this point, before I go on to section number 5, what I want to do is I want to look at this part of the screen over here to make sure that I have enough money to do what I say I want to do. Right now, underneath this vacation fund money, I got $2,400 left over for fun and vacation. That's good enough for me. I'm ready to move on, okay? Let's just say, though, however, I was over here with a Roth IRA, and let's just say I was contributing more than what I put in there. You can see that this number turns negative and it turns red. I don't have enough money to do that. I need to make an adjustment. So after you get to step 4, that's where you're going to want to look at the right-hand side of this screen to make sure that you have enough money. Not only do you have enough, but if you want money left over for vacation or just in case, you got money there, okay? The next section, again, is just some additional questions. We ask you how much of an emergency fund that you would like to have. Again, this will set a short-term goal. So for example, like if I only have $4,000 in a bank account and it comes out here that I need an emergency fund of $7,600, it will set a short-term goal in my financial plan to save that money first before it goes to all the other things I told our financial plan builder to do. And then down here, it just reiterates what I prioritize, investing versus debt or high interest rate method or whatnot. And then from there, I can hit next, review, and compare. But that is going to be in another tutorial. We'll see you there.